The money is not in the service. The money's in the selling of the service. If you want to get paid like a professional, you need to practice like one. Since that boot camp, I have spent 10,000 hours in role playing practice. I've gone on thousands of listing appointments, selling 2,000 properties. All right, team, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Appreciate everybody being here today. Appreciate all the elite builders in the room. Let's clap it up if you're an elite builder in the room. At the beginning of my real estate career, I was selling real estate in Gainesville, Florida, which, if you've ever been there, outside of the university is a very sleepy, hollow town. It's just cows and churches. Not as though there's anything wrong with cows and churches, but that's all there is. The broker that I decided to partner with at the time, and good for them, they had a boot camp that you had to go through before they would let you in to the company, right? And it consisted of 2 weeks of sales training. You know, things like contacts equals contracts and making calls and things of that nature. And it culminated in a listing presentation that you actually had to give in front of all of the rest of the company. And they partnered you with another new agent. For those of you who may not know me, I am somebody who's very motivated by significance, and I'm also incredibly, disgustingly competitive. So I wanted to win. I wanted to be the absolute best of the whole presentation in front of the whole company, right? So I took it super seriously. And they told us to print out this information about like their listing presentation, their marketing thing and everything. It was like these pieces of paper. And they told us to go to Office Depot and to print it out and to get a flip chart. So I dutifully went to Office Depot, printed it all out, got my flip chart, ready to rock, got my script, and I went home to my wife, Carla, and said, hey, we need to start role playing. Not that type of role playing, but we need to start role playing, okay? And she's like, okay, cool. So we start practicing. And I'm diligently practicing, like, you know, all day, all night. And it comes the big day. It's time to present. So my partner is a all shucksy kind of guy, you know, like a grandpa-ish kind of guy. And he goes first, and it's embarrassing. He clearly did not prepare, okay? He was dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, okay? And he stumbled through the presentation. It was very clear that he didn't practice at all, okay? Now I show up, I'm the only person wearing a suit. Now, it's from the Dead Man collection, and let me explain what I mean by that. The first suit that I ever bought, I bought it in an estate sale because I had no money. And a guy died who happened to be my shape and size. I going through the closet at the estate sale, I look at my wife, I'm like, suit's pretty nice. Bought the suit for 20 bucks. Add a little pocket square there, let's go. So forever and ever, it'll always be from the Dead Man collection. First suit ever got, right? So I show up dressed fresh like $1 million, got my little pocket square in there, and now it's my turn to present. And because I had spent a lot of time doing what? Preparing, I was able to get through it. Now, it wasn't perfect, okay? Because I'd only spent, 48 hours practicing. But I took it really seriously. And in my mind, I was so worried and concerned, like, oh my God, what if he asks me how much my commission is? Anyone besides me have ever been worried or concerned about that? Yeah, more hands should be going. What if they say, I've never heard of your company before? I hope they don't ask me that. I hope they don't ask me that, right? That's happened to you before, right? So I'm all concerned, but like this guy didn't even prepare for the damn presentation. So he just doesn't ask me anything. So I'm like, whew, right? But I never forgot that because the money is not in the service. The money's in the selling of the service. And if you want to get paid like a professional, you need to practice like one. So there's out of 20,000 agents in the multiple listing service, there's only 100 that do 20 million in volume, myself included. That's it. You have 20,000 people competing for 100 jobs. If you really wanted to compete, not just treat this like a vending machine that when you make a few bucks, you go to Costa Rica and post it on Instagram. So since that boot camp, I have spent 10,000 hours in role playing practice. I've gone on thousands of listing appointments. And I've spent probably $400,000 and counting in my own personal growth and development, getting access to the best teachers, the best trainers, the best mentors. And now I no longer am at all concerned as to what somebody might say to me on a listing presentation. I've spent the last 17 years of my career selling 2,000 properties. What we're going to do today is I'm going to go over with you the listing presentation, the exact presentation that I've used to list hundreds of properties a year. It's broken down into 3 separate sections. And then we're going to go over some frequently asked questions, common objections. So that way you're fully prepared. Guys, because when we go from 6 million transactions in a calendar year to a projected 3.8 million, that means there are more people competing for the same opportunities. And if you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. I don't know why you guys think this is a lot of money. Let's do the math on this. 150, you have taxes, don't you? Mm-hmm. About 50 grand. Now you got 100. You got business expenses, don't you? How much are those? 20, 30 grand? Yep. Now you're at 70. You got a rent or your mortgage payment, car payment. You want to take one nice trip a year. How much money's left over? Zero. Amateurs practice until they can get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. I should be able to wake you up in the middle of the night and be like, bro, give me your listing presentation. And you're like, hi, my name is Aaron, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And you just run right into it. Because guys, these conversations are worth 10, 15, 20,000 bucks. It's immature to not be prepared. There's 3 separate sections of the listing presentation. From the time you hit the door till the time you start to talk about price. Then there's the pricing portion of the listing presentation. Then there's handling objections and closing. Okay? It's a map. You just follow it. Now, I'm curious. Let's say you got on a plane and the pilot said, you know what? We're not going to go with the checklist today. We're just going to wing it. Would you get on that plane? Nope. No. Imagine you went to a surgeon. Surgeon has a checklist. They're like, you know what? We're just going to bypass the checklist today. I'm just going to wing it. Would you be okay with that? Why are you guys okay with going on listing presentations and winging it? It typically takes 7 no's before somebody says yes. And somebody's going to be in control. I want it to be me. So what do I mean by that? How do we incorporate this into the first section? So if you're taking notes, put like from the time I hit the door till the time I start to talk about price. Okay? From the time I hit the door, time I start talking about price. So the moment that you hit the door, all of this is crafted and scripted. So the first thing that I would remind you guys to do, because you're all serious and shit, is to smile when you knock on the door. I had to remind myself to do that. Because I used to be like, here to do business. Right? So you knock on the door, they open the door, you're like, hi, Aaron Novella, nice to meet you. Somebody's going to be in control. I want to be in control. Because if I let them be in control, you sit on the couch, drinking tea, like nothing's going to happen. Now what I want to start to do is I want to start to immediately start to close. You guys wait till the end to close. I don't know why. And remember, it takes 7 no's to get to 1 yes. So I want to get all those 7 in right away. So the first thing I'm going to say to them is like, well, you know, your home is really lovely, Chris. It's tastefully furnished. So I'm curious, when we have offers come in, are we going to be including the contents, or do you want to take that with you to your next destination?
Taking it with me.
Good. What just happened there? When who has offers come in? We have offers come in. It's called an assumptive close. Being assumptive is, yeah, I know. She was like, oh. Being assumptive is a function of confidence, and confidence is a function of role play and practice. He's going to be like, no, we want to take that with us. Okay, fantastic. And then he continues to show me through, and I'm like, yeah, you know, if I remember correctly, Chris, you were kind enough to share with me that you aren't planning on making any changes or modifications before I start to bring buyers through. You just want me to help you to sell it as it is, where it is. Is that right?
That's right.
What just happened? Close number 2. Right? Right? So 2 closes. Have we talked about commission? So then we've done those couple assumptive closes, and now it's time to sit down. Again, you need to be in control. Okay, so what I like to do is like, we can go ahead and take a seat here at the kitchen table. Would that be all right? Because if you don't do that, you're going to end up sitting on a little couch somewhere, and it'll be awkward and weird. Okay? Now, in terms of where I want to sit where I'm the center. I want the people to be sitting here, right? So if husband and wife, here, so I can direct to both of them. If I'm sitting across from you, what does that create? An adversarial position. And there's a border and a boundary between me and you. Now, I will say, first and foremost, I just want to begin our time together, Fatima, just by saying thank you. Smiling again. For providing me the opportunity to share some information with you, potentially help you with the sale. I always like to begin these conversations just by asking a few quick questions to make sure we're on the same page. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Perfect. So the first question I have, which I'm pretty positive I know the answer to, based on what you shared with me on the phone before we connected, you guys have definitely decided that you're going to sell the home. You're not interested in like holding on to it or doing something else with it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Notice I said, would that be okay if I asked you questions? And she said, yes. I asked her another question. She said, yes. That's establishing a pattern of what?
Yes.
Yes. So, okay, great. And then that leads me to my second question, which I'm also pretty sure I know the answer to, is you guys want to position the property price-wise to sell. You definitely don't want to give it away. That's for sure. At the same time, you don't want to have it sit on the market for like 6 or 7 months just testing the market. Is that correct?
Yes.
She said yes 3 times in a row. I know. Shit's a Jedi, right? And then that leads me to my third question. I'm aware I sent you over some information in preparation for connecting. I'm sure you did some due diligence. You checked me out online. You saw track record and reviews. So have you and your family, have you guys already decided that you would like for me and my team to help you with the sale?
Yes.
Yeah. So, she couldn't even help it. Like, as we're doing, she's like, yes, yes. But what are we doing there? Look, 2 assumptive closes. Now I directly ask her if she's already decided to hire me yet. What do you guys do? Pick me, please. So I love yeses, I love nos, I hate maybes. But I'm cool with either one because now I know what direction to take. You see, if you don't do this and you don't do a close right up front, you don't know what the hell's going on. Mm-hmm. When you ask up front, they might be like, well, we're not sure yet. We're going to talk to
the other agent.
Good. Now I know that. Isn't it better to know that now than to know it at the fucking end?
Mm-hmm.
100%. If they say, we're not sure, we want to think it over. Cool. I know that. Right? But if I don't ask up front, I want to get it out of the way. So we've closed 3 times. Remember, it takes 7 closes before we get to a yes. Typically, on average. Unless it's like your mom's sister's cousin that wants to list the property, and then they just list it. So let's say she says, no, directly, right to my face. I'm like, that's no problem. I want you to make the decision that you feel is best. I want to be clear. That is my intention, Fatima. So provided that what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident with me and my team, that we can help you get the most and do it quickly and efficiently, I have all of the appropriate paperwork with me, and I'm prepared to go to work for you today. Fair enough?
Yes.
Yeah. What happened there? She tried to tell me she's the boss. I'm like, no, you're not. Right? She's like, we're not going to do this. You know how many times people said, Aaron, I am not signing anything today. And I'm like, that's cute. And along those lines, you were kind enough to share with me that in terms of the selection process of an agent, you were looking for somebody that had a great track record, that had sold properties in this geographic area, had a really good marketing plan, and would communicate with you very well. Is there anything else you'd be looking to hear from me today that will cause you to feel comfortable and confident just to proceed and put me to work? 4 closes. Tell me commission.
What's your commission?
That's a good question. And I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you with regards to that. So it sounds as though, provided that we check off all those other boxes and we're in agreement in terms of the professional fee, which I know we will be, it won't be a reason why we don't do business. I'm sure we'll come up with something that's mutually beneficial to all parties. Then we'll be able to proceed and go to work. Does that sound about right?
Sure.
Yeah. What just happened? What do you guys do when she asks about the commission? Your pants. Oh my God. That's what I didn't want them to ask me about. At the culmination of our time together then, there are a few potential outcomes, right? The first, which we really seem to be moving in that direction, it's an assumptive close. We really seem to be moving in that direction is that you may decide to list your home with me. And by the way, when I say list your home with me, what is that? It's an embedded command. It's neurolinguistic programming. List your home with me. Do you hear it now? Mm-hmm. It's like I'm commanding you to do it. And we're really excited to have that opportunity. Again, I have all the appropriate paperwork with me. I'm prepared to go to work for you today. The second potential outcome is there's an outside chance for whatever reason, you may decide not to list the home with me. And that's okay too. Most of you guys would never say that out loud. Because you're like, oh, please. And then that leads us to the third outcome. And this was just as important as the other two, is if for any reason at all, Fatima, if I feel honestly, truly, that I wouldn't be able to help you get what you wanted in the time that you wanted, I may decide to very humbly decline the opportunity to list your home. The reason I would do that is I'd much rather earn your business with integrity, being honest and straightforward about what's reasonable and realistic, versus promising you something I know is not going to happen and not be able to deliver. And any one of those 3 I feel comfortable with. Fair enough? We pursue that with retreats. I'm demonstrating to you I'm completely unattached to this outcome. Okay? I may decide humbly. Now, it's important how you do this. If you're like, I may decide not to take your that's not going to work. You know what I mean? And remember, this is still but we haven't even talked about price yet. Okay? I've closed 5 times already. I may decide to humbly decline the opportunity. Right? And when anyone else there, I feel perfectly comfortable. Fair enough? And you're like, yeah, that's fair. Great. So what I'd like to do now is just review some of those questions I asked you over the phone, just to make sure that I'm fully prepared and I can do a great job for you and your family. Would that be okay? What is so I can do a great job for you and your family? We're already working together. Is that okay? You're like, yeah, that's great. Great. So you were kind enough to share with me that the main reason you want to sell the home, you guys are moving to Texas. Is that right? Yep. And you were also kind enough to share with me that time frame wise, you really want to make this move happen in the next 120 days. Is that correct? So what that would mean, I was thinking about this on the way over here, is that in order for us to make that happen in the time that you want, we would have to be under contract in like 30 to 45 days, because it usually takes 30 to 45 days to close. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's something we can certainly accomplish. We just need to get started right away, okay?
Okay.
Are you going to need some help or assistance as far as like finding a new property out in Texas? Would you want me to refer you an agent, or do you already have that under control?
You can refer me an agent.
Like as we progress with this and with showings and stuff, like is someone typically home most of the time, or how does that work?
It would be my mother.
And then for your mom, to make it convenient for her, we can make it like by appointment only. Or do you want us to call you first and then you'll let your mom know, or do you want to let your mom know? And what's the best, absolute best number for me to reach you at? What's happening here? She's already working with me. People want to say yes. You just got to need to give them a reason to say yes. Now, that is from the time I hit the door, we haven't, to the time I start to actually present price. Key phrases. This is an option. You're the boss. Whatever you decide, I'll support you 100%. And again, stop trying to lead with authority. Okay? Stop trying to be like, I know and you don't, because they have access to all the same information because of the internet. This is more collaborative, right? You're going to share with them information, help them interpret it, help them to make a decision that works for them and their family. Okay, so closing is a different skill than presenting. Okay, what do you think I mean by that? That closing is a different skill than presenting. I know. You notice the energy in the room is like, oh, I've been doing that whole time, man. I'm doing this wrong. How is closing different than presenting?
Closing is actually asking for a commitment.
It's actually asking. You know what closing is? You know the analogy I like to give? It's taking off all your clothes and being like, so what it is. We doing this or not? Right? That's what closing is. But you guys are afraid to do it. Okay? There's a book. It says, knock and the door shall what? Open. Ask and you shall what? It requires you to do what? Ask. So it seems like we're in agreement with regards to strategy and approach, right? In terms of how to position the property. So do you have any other questions or concerns for me before we take care of the appropriate paperwork?
Yes. So because of the price, I'm listing lower than expected. I just met with an agent who said that he can list at 630 and get me, and he's also lowering his commission.
Okay. Awesome. And I appreciate you bringing those things
So
up to
I'm
me.
concerned because the next property I'm buying, I'm really going to need to make as much money to hit the menu.
Yeah. And I totally respect that. And I appreciate your straightforwardness, right? Like if we're going to enter into some sort of agreement with each other, it's got to be based on trust. And part of that trust is being able to have open conversations with one another. So I guess here's my question to you. Having looked at the information together as a team, just trust me, I would like it to be more as well. Knowing that those other two sold, how do you think it would serve you and benefit you to list it at 630 when you need to be out to Arizona in 120 days? Does that seem like a realistic expectation? No. Now, you do want an agent that's going to have the intestinal fortitude to earn your business with integrity, telling you the truth up front, don't you?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You know what the good news is? You found what you're looking for. So here's my question is, if we can come to an agreement in terms of the professional fee today, because I'm open to having a conversation, and I know we'll be able to work that out. Like I'm interested in win-win dynamics. I want us both to feel good about what we're doing. Otherwise, we won't do it. If we could agree on that today, would there be any other reason why we couldn't proceed right now?
No.
Most of you guys verbally vomit when she mentions commission. I'll do it for 4. Ah!
Yeah, you're still not talking numbers.
And I isolated both of the objections. One was price, and I leveled with you. I'm like, does that seem like a realistic expectation? No. You do want an agent that's like going to be honest with you, don't you? Yes. That other agent just is out. I just took like a fucking sniper gun. Done. Now, most of you guys jump into the commission. What's the problem with answering an objection right away? One might be right behind it. You haven't figured out if what I want it all to get on the table. Again, closings, it's what it is. We're doing this or not. So I want it all to get out. So what I did is I did what's called a set aside. So imagine like there's a boulder between me and you, like this impediment. So I'm like, if I grab this, I put it over here and I'm like, you see that thing over there? If we could deal with that over there, can we do this? And you're like, look, she's just like, yes, we can do this, right? So we can do this. That's what I'm doing. I isolated the objection and I set it aside. And then you're like, yeah, I don't think so. Now I say to you, great, what were you thinking? We're negotiating. And who do I want to speak first? Her. So you just have to have like the discipline to follow this process. It's like a checklist, like a pilot's checklist. You fuck it up, it'll get messed up. You'll verbally vomit, you'll tell her, and she'll be like, well, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to talk to the other agent, leave. And then you'll get in your car, you're like, I really think we connected. So she's like, 5%. Yeah, that's an option. And what's interesting for me is I'd never want to put you in a situation that actually wasn't beneficial to you as a homeowner. Can I explain to you what I mean?
Yes.
Who's that about, by the way? Who do you guys make it about?
You.
Me. Well, I got bills to pay. I got a new baby. I got diapers, bro. Instead, it's like, yeah, can I share with you, like, I never want to put you in a situation that wasn't beneficial to you as a homeowner. Can I explain to you what I mean? And they're like, well, yeah. Well, it's like, agents don't control people buy, but they definitely have influence over what they see. Right? So let's say that there's, like, right now I did some homework in preparation for our appointment, and there's 25 other properties here in Deerfield that are in your price point between 600 and 700,000. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And in the last 30 days, do you know how many of those sold?
No idea.
8. So what that means is there was, 17 of them that are still there unsold. And we don't want to be in that position, do we? No. And let's say of those 25 that are available for sale, 20 of them are offering out what's customary in terms of a co-broke. So like 2.5%, maybe 3%. And the rest are offering out some sort of discount, right? 2%, 1%. So let's imagine that you're a full-time commission-based salesperson and you have an opportunity to show properties. Remember, agents don't control people buy, but they do have influence over what they see. Honestly, as an agent, which properties do you think you'd be more excited about showing and selling?
The ones with the full commission.
And why is that?
Because I'm going to take home more.
That's exactly right. It's just human nature, isn't it? Yeah. So just by you saying that demonstrates that you're beginning to realize that the professional fee is a marketing tool that we use to help you to get top dollar. So the commission on our end to help you with the sale is 3%. Now, what we're just talking about is what we're going to offer out in terms of a co-broke to another agent. And we have a couple options at our disposal. Whatever you decide, I'll support you. Fair enough?
Fair.
So the first option is we offer out something less than what's customary. So something less than like 2.5%, right? So maybe like 2%, 2.25%. And in doing so, we just need to know and understand it could end up affecting showings in some way, right? And I know you said you want to maximize value and do it quickly and efficiently. So that's something to consider. The second option is we offer out what's customary, maybe 2.5%, 3%. And in doing that, we dramatically widen the exposure, and that'll increase the probability. We'll get you an offer in the time frame that you want, and net you the most. Either one's okay, based on what you're looking to accomplish and why. What do you think we should do?
5%.
What if you bring the buyer? If you bring the buyer?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So if we bring the buyer, what we can do is, I guess, what were you thinking? So the total is 5.5. So if we bring the buyer, like, what were you thinking? Because remember, we're going to be handling both sides of the transaction.
4.5?
I normally wouldn't do that, but like, I appreciate where you're coming from. And as a way for me to demonstrate that, like, I'm equally committed to you as you are to me, we can go ahead and do that. Fair enough?
Fair. Thank you.
Why did I say, well, first of all, when I go like, if I would have said, yes, really quick, what does she think? Could ask for more.
Yeah.
I'm going to make her feel better by going, I normally wouldn't do that. Not only that, what's the probability that I'm going to bring the buyer? 0. You guys get all hung up on that. Was I hung up on that at all?
No.
So you're only going to get few common objections, and guys, they're not going to school trying to figure out new objections to give you. They're not sitting in classes like this, sellers. I want to wait. My sister's an agent. Never heard of your company. How much is your commission? What are you going to market the home? Where's your office? It never changes. We just need to take the time to learn the answers. How many of you guys feel more prepared to go on a listing presentation after this time together? No, it's not acceptable to me. Everybody's hands should be raised. Good. So if this has been helpful or useful to you, if you want to get a recording, because we got our boy here recording it, take a picture of that. If you want to book a call with me, talk to me about coaching or training or anything like that, you can do that there. According to the Association of Realtors, if an agent goes on 100 listing presentations, they only actually take 20 listings. My personal conversion ratio is about 80, 85%.
Somebody would call me, hey, I want to sell my property. I'd want to go over there immediately.
When I imagined that I was going to make an exception, it never ends up working in my favor.
The best way to prepare for a listing appointment is to ask the seller some questions.